Welcome back, everybody. So glad you could be here with me today. Walter at the workbench, making some shavings. Very fine, light shavings. Just trying to see if my muscle memory is still there. In today's video, I want to do something totally different. I wanted to talk about current events. Why, you might ask? Well, because current events are going to affect you, me, and everyone around the globe. I'm not going to get into specifics. However, there are some things that will affect our craft. For instance, this little hammer. This little hammer is made of wood for the handle, brass for the head, and a form of nylon for the one side of the head. And I'm not sure if there is any sort of glue. I don't think so, holding it in. I believe it's pinched in. And there is a lacquer or varnish on it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's stamping. The name, Grace, it's on there. That is some form of ink. So what we're looking at here is a tool which was manufactured by energy. Energy is oil, it's gas, it's solar, it's nuclear, it's wood. You can burn wood for energy. So as our current events increase the cost of every part of this hammer, what's going to happen to the price of the hammer? It's going to go up. And then what about transport to get it to you? The cost of the shipping is going to go up. So this is where, when we're looking at new tools or we're looking at even getting a used tool, I ordered 2 interesting things off eBay. Weren't very expensive. One was $25, the other was $15. The $15 one is the one I really am interested in. So what about our lumber? In a previous video, I talked about where to find lumber free or cheap. And I didn't get into curbside lumber hunting. Perhaps we can do that a little later in this video. Now, everything is going to cost more. What we have right now is as cheap as it will ever be. Mark my words. The other side of the current events, so that's the energy shortage. The other side of current events is supply side chain disruptions. So the way I understand it, I'm not going to mention names, but there were 2 aluminum manufacturing facilities damaged over in the Middle East. They've lost 20, 25% capacity of production. What's that going to cost now to rebuild? How many years is it going to take to rebuild? Price of aluminum is going to go up. So, why am I bringing this up? Well, I guess the point is, if you have tools and they are working, clean them up, tune them up, repair them, maintain them, and use them. Support good companies, Lee Nielsen, Veritas, Tay Tools, Woodcraft, Rockler. Now, granted, Tay Tools, Woodcraft, Rockler, they kind of bring in a lot of stuff from overseas, but you're still supporting local companies. The other side of this is labor. You're going to soon, and I'm not going to get into this topic, but you're going to get into this pretty soon, where you're not going to find workers. It's been bad for 5 years, and now we're going into this next 5 years. It's going to get tougher to find somebody to work with you, or to work for you, or even for you to go work for. And I can dive deep into this because I have some connections where I've spoken with some people and I know kind of what's coming. I will mention one thing I found out today. The military hospitals are gearing up and gearing down at the same time. They are pushing off elective procedures. They're pushing off family members. They're pushing off things that take away beds in the military hospitals. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But for the last 33 days, we have been lied to. So, at some point in this video, if you're not happy discussing this, shut me off. Give me the thumbs down. There's a lot more, and I could get into it, but I'm not going to. But I wanted to make a video about current events and how it will affect our craft. Getting tools, getting supplies, getting material, finding labor is all going to hurt us, and we are going to have to sacrifice. I mean, yeah, I got hurt. I did something stupid, but it came at a good time and a bad time. It was winter. I'm not doing a lot of very important things outside or in here, but I have got to get planting done of some basic crops, just in case certain supply side chains get disrupted. You following me? Are you picking up what I'm laying down? I read today where Australia has some 7,000 fueling stations. 600 are like out, shut down. Many of the others are reporting lack of one or more of the fuels. That's Australia. That's not USA. So how does it affect me, Walter? Well, so someone here might be from Australia. There was a gal went into a supermarket. It was right when I think it was a typhoon was either coming or came through. The supermarket store shelves were empty. They had one little area with some lemons in it. Empty. The shelves were empty. It probably had a lot to do with the storm. The truckers probably avoided the path of the storm, but also the truckers aren't getting fuel to make the deliveries. Where was it? I heard there was another small country. They're on fuel rationing. Parts of Europe are going to see fuel rationing. So let's talk about free wood. Well, absolutely nothing is free. Even the air we breathe is not free because you have to put energy into it to breathe it in. So, curbside, furniture, and lumber. Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, wherever. I think there's something called Nextdoor and other things. People will advertise solid wood furniture, free. All right. You go over, you inspect it, and you realize it's plywood, but it hadn't been rained on. It wasn't in the basement. It's still a piece of plywood. So you take your tools with you, you take some screws apart, and you bring the wood home. And then what you do is you cut around it, get rid of the defects, and save that wood. I mean, even if all you do is make a shelf for the workshop, that would only cost you the time to stop, check it out, take it apart, pick it up, bring it home. And you're recycling. You're recycling that energy. The energy to manufacture that wood, that piece of furniture, is already gone. Save the hardware, screws, corner brackets for table legs, etc., etc. If you happen to find an old table and it's got a pretty hefty chunk of wood for the legs and it wasn't glued up, you can return that into a carver's mallet, or you can reshape it into a different type of leg, or you can cut it up and make a little lidded. You can do anything you want with it. So you have to be able to use your eyes and identify if it is solid wood. Be careful with what I call reclamation wood from construction sites. There's a lot of things you have to watch for. You have to watch for nails, broken off nails, screws. You have to watch for dirt and disease, okay? Because some of this 100, 200-year-old wood had been walked on by all sorts of critters all its life. Splinters, make sure you wear gloves, make sure you got a pair of gloves on that can withstand splinters. And when you're working with it, wire brush it off. Outdoors, where the wind blows the dust away, wear dust masks, okay? Eye protection. So nothing is free, but you can get things at lower cost. And it may surprise you sometimes that you might find something as a piece of oak or a piece of chestnut. And that's another thing. People will sell oak furniture, and it's not oak, it's chestnut. Nobody can tell. Most people can't tell the difference between oak and chestnut when it's 150 years old and been varnished and waxed and dirt. But a keen eye will notice chestnut does not have visible medullary rays. The ray fleck, the little flecks, doesn't have that. It almost looks like a brown ash. Almost looks more like ash than it does oak. I've seen my share of chestnut. There's a house about 25 minutes from here. The whole interior of the house, the trim, the doors, the baseboard moldings, all chestnut. All good old-fashioned American chestnut. So that's about it. I mean, I know I'm rambling here, and if you made it past the current events, we got to talk a little bit about woodworking. But no, we're in for it. We're in it now, and pretty much The lamestream media is lying to us, because the report that I read, which kind of came through a back door, it's not going well, and we are losing our troops, and the hospitals are going to be full of wounded. So if you are of the persuasion to pray, I don't care what kind of prayer, pray for every single person, American and other, that is being drawn into this current event. Pray for their safety, pray for their health, pray for their families, because it's going to be interesting the next 5 years. We're going to see some crazy stuff. You wait and see. You wait and see if Walter is right, because we're dealing with the economy, we're dealing with money, we're dealing with fuel and energy, we're dealing with political and geopolitical events. And wait, coming soon is going to be the UAP, UFO phenomenon. They're going to pull that card out soon. So I'm going to get back to making shavings. And I'm telling you, the more I use this guppy, the more I'm liking it. I have to see if I can get more of my planes to behave like this. I hope you stuck around. Like, subscribe, and share the video. And head out to your shop. Sweet smell of pie. Go make some shavings. Walter out.